see the screen. I'll just let you continue on. I'll be quiet here in the background.
Sorry?
I'll let you just get started. That's past, so perhaps the kind of go.
Okay, I think there was some, sorry, there was multiple speakers here. Okay. Yeah, so let me know once we are good to start. Let me start it.
You're good to go.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let me present my screen presentation. Hi guys, hello everyone. Welcome to the Field Service Saturday Bootcamp. And first of all, thank you, Power Community Leadership Team, Ben Wormer, and Antti and Mark, and as usual Raz, Stefano, Narayan, and Victor for giving me the another opportunity to speak in this prestigious event. So without further ado, let's quickly jump into the session. And yeah, let me share my video also. Nothing wrong with that. Hope you can see me now. Yeah, so myself, Jeevarajan Kumar, you can call me Jeeva. So I'm a Microsoft Business Application MVP, and you can connect me over the LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn name. You can find me in the LinkedIn the same name, and this is my Twitter handle. I can just flash it for a second so that you can, if you want, you can scan your QR code to connect with me as well. And I am proud to say that I'm also an ambassador, one of the ambassadors in Power Community, and I also lead user groups in Singapore and ASEAN. All right, so without further ado, let me quickly start jump into the session. So you're going to see the shortest presentation, I mean, with respect to the slides for today, I believe, because I don't have much to talk about the schedule board and Canvas app, because you guys might be might know that well, and know at least to use it some, the basic functionality of the schedule board. And so what I'll do is, I'll just quickly show an overview of what we have in the schedule board, and then I will show how I leverage the Canvas app to add more functionality to the schedule board, and then we'll see just a quick overview of the next generation schedule board. Okay. So before going to that, I will just stop my video. I don't want to cause any bandwidth issue. I heard it happen last time in some other session. All right, so first, so schedule board provides an overview of the resource availability and bookings. As you'll be able to see your bookings that you have listed out. I mean, it's waiting for the scheduling, and then you'll have the schedule. You can customize this. I mean, you can filter and for the resources, and you can also filter based on either using the map or using the filters, and you can track the resources inside the map that we'll see shortly inside the schedule board. And then we also see the details pane, where we have some options to manipulate data within the schedule board. And details pane is where we also embedded our Canvas app to achieve the extension. And the schedule board is customized to a certain extent, and by using the tab settings, we can change the colors and what views we want to display, all those things. And we will not be going into that detail, as this is not a scope of this session, but I'll just show you high level where we can do that. After that, we will just see how we are achieving the basic rollover and moving function through the Canvas app. So let me open my field service. Yeah, so let me close this for a while. Okay, so this is the just generic. This is the current version of the schedule board, and next generation schedule board I'll see it later part of the session. So what we can do here is we can see the resources will be highlighted here, and the resources can be accounts, cases, contacts, users, and facilities, and as such. And then you're going to see the filters over here, and whatever the work orders we created, and if there is any unscheduled work order, right now we don't have, but if you have any unscheduled work order, those things can be seen here, and you can either drag and drop, or you can book. So currently I just have only 2 work orders, because I don't want to go detail on this part here. And And this is where you filter it. So the first, you can see the filter is quite straightforward. You can see the characteristics of the resources, like skills, certificates. So all those things can be filtered here if we have configured for the resource. And then the roles. So these are the roles that have a default. And let's say you have multiple. Think about a real-time scenario where you will have lots of resources, and they have their own specialization and their skill sets, and then they also map to the certain roles in the organization. So when you have lots of resources, it's pretty difficult for the dispatcher to scroll down and see each and everything, and they always prefer to schedule based on the roles. And then the territories, again, if I go to some other territory, if I search, you can see there's nothing here. Let me see this one. Yeah, so you can see there are no 2 resources mapped to this territory, and if I remove the filter, you can see the 4 resources. So basically this territories define where the resources will be working under the location basically. And the organization unit, and then the resource type is also another filter criteria which you can make use of it, which I told you, right? The resources can be users, accounts, facilities, and even crew, where a group of resources can be combined to attain a certain work order instant. And then so with that we can filter as well. So you can see adventure work is an account. So if I go ahead and filter based on account, you can be seeing only the adventure works, and the rest are all the users. So let me remove that. And it's pretty straightforward with respect to business units, teams, and also you can sort it based on the name and rating value. Currently it's sorted with the name. So if I define the rating value, you can do that. So where I will define all this rating values, skills, and certificates are. So if we go back to the resources, bookable resource. So for example, let me just quickly open one of the resources here. Yeah. So this is where the characteristics are defined, and I don't have anything now, but if you define, you will just mention that what characteristics that's going to be, and then if it's rating, then rating, if it's certificate, then certificate, something like that. And then the categories, you can mark them under the category as well. So that's a quick overview about the schedule board, as I don't want to go detail, as I said earlier. And you can see this blue line that says the time, and you can have the basic settings of this scheduler. I mean, the scheduler, whoever works on that is defined here, mentioned here. So you can choose the time zone, and like when is the working time of the scheduler and when is the end time of the scheduler, so that when that scheduler comes into work, when he opens the schedule board, it will be modified or tweaked according to his preferences here. So this is where he does that. And apart from that, so the blue line, I think this shows the current time of the for the scheduler. And so you also have the horizontal view. We are in the horizontal view. If you want, we can change it to the vertical view. You can see the resources are over here, and now the days are over here. So this is another small step. And if you want to, right now it's an hourly view. If you want, we can change it to days, weeks, and months view. And then there are some actions which you can see here, like in creating new booking alerts to now notify what needs to be done for that specific booking, something like that. And then like if in the map, you can see the driving direction, and the basic sorting is here as well, like which we saw right here. And then apart from that, there is also something called details pane. So basically, if you go to details pane, you'll see when you click on the booking, so you can see that the glimpse of details that belongs to that booking, that comes from the booking. And if you have any booking alerts configured, that will be shown here in the booking alerts as well. And apart from this, apart from these 2 basic settings, there are also something called the tab settings. So where you can have multiple tabs like this. This is a default tab, but you can always click here, add a new tab, and that will be added over here. If you want to check the settings of this tab, you can double click it, or you can click on this gear icon. So that is going to open up the default view. So this has basically 3 sections. So you got general settings and schedule types, and then the last one, the requirement panels. Okay, so we will see shortly where we have added our canvas. So first, let me quickly show a demo, and then I'll show you the backend, of things like how it works. Then I'll explain this tab settings while doing that. That would be better. Okay, so with the current schedule board, there are certain I would say limitations for now. So if I want to do, let's say, have hundreds of resources, and let's say we need to move this. Let's say it's kind of a regular or repeated task that the resources does, like that happens like let's say one for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then they change to some other task. Think about some installations of like big manufacturing stuffs. So where they have to do every day, they have to monitor, and the same task they repeat every day, something like that. So what happens is, if you want to copy or if you want to move, let's say there is some issue like COVID or something which they couldn't do, and they want to move all the bookings to next week. So if you do by one, it's a painful process. Right now you can see that we have only 2. Right now I have one on the 15th and one I have on the 17th. So think about the scenario where you have to do wanted to move a set of bookings, irrespective of you can filter the resources as well. But right now I just added a filter based on the territory. And let's imagine what you have, where you wanted to enter the date range, like start date and end date, and whatever the bookings that comes under the date range will be automatically moved to the next targeted rate, something like that, right? And let's also talk about the rollover functionality, where, as I said, if you want to repeat the same job, same work order, or same task to the next week and the consecutive weeks, there is no functionality as such. So what we can do is to simple way of doing this would be as without less code is definitely going for Canvas app and using the Power Platform together with the field service schedule board. So how we are leveraging that is, I'll show you the demo. So you see, I just added a tab here in the details pane, and this is literally a Canvas app. The whole thing is a Canvas app, okay? And we have a booking here for the 15th, all right? And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to move this booking to, let's say 16th. We don't want to keep scrolling here and there. So let me change to the 16th. And then let's say territory, I want to filter. This is basically a filter. I want to show how we can add filters as well. So I'm just adding here the territory filters so that it will picks up that particular bookings that falls under this one. So if I go and move, so basically it's calling a Power Automate, a flow, and then it is the backend. It is doing all this heavy load, and you can see I just added some output here. It says number of bookings affected. So you can see immediately the booking has been moved from 15th to 16th, right? So right now we have only one booking, but if we have multiple bookings, anything that comes in that range will be completely moved to the targeted date. Okay. So let's say if you choose, bookings from like 15 to 18, for example, right? We have 3 days booking. And if I choose targeted as 20, what happens is the bookings will be placed on from 20 to 21 and 22, 3 days, something like that. So here we are just specifying that starting date. Eventually, it will just take that set of booking and then move it to the move it with respect to starting, considering the starting date as the target date as the starting date. Okay. So as I said, you can have multiple filters here, and then you can still pass that filters. At the end of the day, it's all data. So I know that is going to be sent to flow, and that's going to be doing the heavy load behind the screen. Okay. If you have noticed, when I moved it, it actually refreshed automatically. Actually, it didn't automatically refresh. I didn't use any window context or as such. What I did is I just reduced the refresh rate of the schedule board. So if you go to the scheduling parameter, there will be no scheduling interval, schedule board refresh interval seconds. So I've just reduced it to 5 seconds so that it will refresh every 5 seconds. So that now when someone doing this they don't want to, they get a look and feel like, it's refreshed immediately. But if it seems to be a little crazy, like it keeps refreshing all the time when the multiple bookings are there, you can always go the dispatcher can go and change this to increase the seconds. And then that is the moving part. And let's say we want also to copy, right? So you can think about moving scenario as due to some unfortunate incident, some business closure, we have to move all the bookings to some other day. Now, if we talk about copy, as I said earlier, if you want to repeat the same task for and we don't want to do every single thing, and this is where we will do the copy, right? So how we're going to do the copy is right now. So you can see we have the 16th and we have one on the 17th, right? And let me see if Spencer is also part of California territory. Yeah. Okay. So 16th and 18th. So let me take, just give a date range from 15 to 18, doesn't matter. It's going to take the date range anyways. And let's say I'm going to copy this to 20. Okay. And okay. This is not good. Why it takes so much time? Come on. Oh my goodness. The Mogada is not supporting me today. Okay, let me try for one booking. That is the case. So I have on 15th, right? Oh, okay. There seems to be some issue. You can see that things are copied here, but seems to be there is some issue with the, I think, the backend logic. But anyways, yeah, I think you got the point, right? So what we're doing is we are just trying to copy it. Now you can see it has in the 15th and also it has in the, sorry, it has in the 16th and also it has got moved to the 21st. But for some unfortunate reason, I don't know why the flow has run multiple times and it has created the records. Let me check that one later. No, so yeah, that is one thing. And also think about scenario where you wanted to do not just so what happens is in this case when you do just a copy, so a booking will be created and that booking will be mapped under the same work order. But let's say that we wanted to create a new work order for every single day and just copy the work order information and also the booking information. So in that case, what happens is again, so if I choose 16th where we have a booking, and let me choose a target also as 16th, shouldn't be an issue. And let me put this on 21st. So if I do this, what happens is, these are all just my just to show what are the possibilities of extensions we can do, right? There's no limits, like whatever we want to do with the data, and we can do it from behind the screen. So if I do this, what happens is it's gonna copy the work order, including the work order and the booking as well, and create a new work order and the booking and move it to 21st. Okay. Okay, so already there is 21st. So what I'll do is I'll put on 20. Yeah, you can see there's one row affected. And if I go to 20, you can see there's no one booking created. And if I go to my work order, you can see there is the replica of this one is created. It's just now. Yeah, so this is how just to show how we can extend and save time to make better interface for the users and to save time for the dispatchers. So we can extend the board like this, and we can, and you can see that I almost try to match the UI with the schedule board UI, and it now almost looks like part of schedule board, right? So you can think about any scenario that fits your business ideally. So what's happening behind the screen is, and how we have done this is, so first thing we have to create a Power Apps. So, and let me go back. Let me go to the Power Apps and flow later. So once you create the Power Apps, what you should do here is, you have to. I have added a web resource here. So you can see basically it's nothing but a HTML. So it will have a iframe tag, and under the iframe tag, we are just rendering the Power Apps over there. Okay. So if you open the text editor, you can see that. So you can see it's a simple HTML with the iframe, and the iframe component has the ID to the Power Apps. This is what matters end of the day, the app ID. So where you can get app ID is, if you go to the app and get the details, you can see the app ID here, right? So if you put that and add that app ID into the web resource. So once you have the web resource, remember I was talking about the tab settings. So if you open the tab settings, you can extend this. So details pane, this is where you extend, right? So if you want to add a custom web resource, you can just give the name for that, and you should call that web resource. So here I have just added that web resource, and you can see that it's already showing here in this pane now. Okay. And in the Power Apps, what is happening? Power Apps is very straightforward. It's not a complex one. I don't want to go into much detail into that. Oops, it's already here. Yeah. So you can see it just gets the date and the target date and territory. So all these things comes from the data source from the CDS, right? Work orders, territories, and all those things. And there is this flow which is being called in the button click here. Okay. So I'm just passing the selected date and then to date. I think this is where I messed up. So that's why when I choose different date range, it created everything together. So I need to just fix that logic. Then it will just copy that whole day, the region, the range day. So, and you can see that I just added one more. I'm taking the to date as one day from the selected day. I just added hard per the minutes here. And then for passing the territory, and we're just passing the move or copy. So that based on this, I have I'm handling this in the flow, and then the checkbox value to see whether or need to create a work order or not. That's all. It's very pretty simple formula, not a complex one. And this is like once you create the checkbox, we are just disabling the move, and then here the output from the flow is just being returned into the label, right? So to see what is happening inside the flow. So you can see the recent ones here. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let me see the run results so that it gets some better idea. Yeah. So you can see the trigger happens from the flow, and these are all variables, and it's again a straightforward, simple flow where you can. I'm just now listing out the records. This is not the sorry. Yeah, so listing out the records of the bookings, whichever based on the date range that we are passing from the Power Apps, right? And the start date, end date range, and we are just getting the work order and territory further. And I'm just getting the territory is under other entity, so I have to get the territory code to filter it. But you can have any filters here, right? As I said, skills, characteristics, ratings, and and then your roles. Departments like that, which is nothing but roles. And then yeah, so after that, so what I do is I'm just checking whether it's a move or it's a copy. If it's a move, I'm just modifying the date. You can see the start time, end time of the particular booking is being changed. Okay, so what I do is I calculate the difference of the day from day to the target date over here, right? So from day if it's 16 and target is 20, so the difference would be the +4. If you want to move back, and it will be a -4, like if it's 4 days before. And that will be, that expression is what been added here. So you can see that, you're just adding days, and this is a date reference that been calculated with the from and the target date, right? And end time will be start time. Sorry, it's a start time, and end time will be end time over here. Okay, we're just adding the difference. That's all. And so does for the arriving and estimated date also added the same thing, so that if you're traveling, it will be, people will be able to identify. And this is for the move. It's quite straightforward. And if you're talking about copy, what I'm doing is, if the work order also needs to be created, if this particular checkbox is checked in, so we have to create the work order. So what we're doing here is, if that is not checked, we are just creating a new booking with the same information, so that it's like a copy, right? it's simple as that. And if you talk about creating a work order, first we need to create the work order, and then I'll just map that work order to the booking, so that it will have the work order also created. And this is all about the Power Apps and the flow, and I think the tab setting also we saw, so it's been added here. And yeah, that's all. Any questions? Yeah, sorry, I need to tell about the quickly. I'll just talk about the next generation schedule board. So if you guys, whoever haven't explored the next generation schedule board, you can now go ahead and enable it. It's in the preview mode. So once you do that, you're gonna see something like this. And it's really, cool with respect to the accessibility and UI. You can see it's the colors are transparent here, so that you will know how much the hours is happening, and the whole you get this thing. Let's take a look at it. Right now, it's I think it's kind of initial stage, and there is no additional details pane or something like that. But we have some cool UI right here to create the new bookings right from here itself, and do some stuff like that. So to activate this, you have to just go to the unified scheduling, and then I guess scheduling parameters, or modify schedule board settings. And this is going to take you here, and then you just click on the controls, and this is where you just enable it, and you just click on the preview experience, enable preview. It will be disabled by default. You have to just enable it. That's all. If you do that, you will be getting the next generation schedule board. The next generation schedule board is built on the PCF, Power Apps Component Framework. Right now, there is no, there are no sufficient, materials or things released so far to extend it and modify it. But we can expect that, I think probably down the line, probably after a couple of months, I believe. Yeah, that's all from my end. Any questions?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions in there. One from Davey. He's asking, how can we query the available time slots on the schedule board and show that in the Canvas app?
How can we query the available time slots? So when you say time slots, you're talking about the resources available hours, or? I
think what he's meaning possibly is when you're on your Canvas app, can you look at the schedule board to see when it's free to when you're going to reschedule it?
Yeah. So so even I think for it's the idea here is we can't manipulate the UI. Okay, let me go. You can't manipulate the UI from here to the Canvas app, and that will be overhead as well if you do that, right? So the idea is to play around with the data. So end of the day, if like bookings or like a resource related hours or whatever it is, so if as you have to handle that with the data behind the screen in the Power Automate. So you can get the UI inputs here, and then you can do it to the backend. You cannot directly take what is available here. Like for example, if that matter, I'm talking about the context to be one-liner. So if you want to take the context, then we have to use the HTML, because this is the whole schedule board is also HTML. This is not a form. If it's a form, then it's a different story. You can just embed a Canvas swap into the model-driven app, and then you will be getting the context directly, and you can do that. But here the catch is the whole schedule board itself is an HTML.
That's fine. So if there are any other questions, where can people find you online?
Yes. All right, so let me flash the same thing. Yeah, so you can reach out to me in the LinkedIn. You can just find me in the same name. I'll just drop the LinkedIn profile also later. And then my Twitter ID is, CRM Indian.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And as I say, if there's any more questions, we've run out of time, but any more questions, you'll be happy to answer them on Twitter.
Yeah, anybody can reach me out in my LinkedIn. Mostly I'll be active in the LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'll try to answer as much as possible. I'll be able to do that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks again for giving me the opportunity. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the sessions. Bye.
So we now have Carl Cookson coming on to talk about Alexa Field Service and I.
Hello, can you hear me, Mark?
I can indeed, yes.
Excellent. Great session. Thank you, Javiv. Thank you.